Ni pesanan kepada Jho Low tau. Jho Low Malaysia really rindu you, you know. You better balik susah betul pasal you ni.
We force MACC to answer your pedas questions.
Saya Muhammad Tamizi bin Abdul Manaf.
Saya Kesavan Radhakrishnan.
My name is Ahmad Rosli bin Muhammad Syam.
Why they only manage to catch the receiver of bribe? Why can't they catch the giver of bribes? After all, the giver is the one who started the mess. Actually, right, it's not like that. It's based on who comes to report first. So either the giver or the receiver of the bribe will become the prime witness in the case. And we cannot charge the witness. If we charge the witness, we don't have a case. If we don't have a case, we cannot prosecute and we cannot recover the money lost in the corruption case. Bribe and corruption happens in the dark. So somebody, whether the receiver or giver or any witness, must come forward to lodge the report. That also why the government launched a scheme to reward public servants who report bribery, leading to a successful conviction. So this encourages people to report when corruption is happening, rather than having them being afraid to report because they might get convicted. For example, if you have been offered such as 50,000 or 100,000, you will get reward as a 50 or 100,000 if the bribe man has been convicted in the court. But make sure you don't take the bribe. You report to MACC. In the future, this offer will be offered to public as well, not only for public servants. So get ready.
Does whichever government in power heavily influence the people who are prosecuted? Wow, this is a pedas question to answer actually. Interesting question because this seems to be the perception of the public. MACC, their function is only to investigate. And then when it comes to prosecution, it is a function of the Attorney General's chambers, the place where I used to work. Whether there have been cases where MACC push for prosecution of a particular person or figure only to be forced to stop any investigation, frankly, I haven't come across a case like that. The few cases that we read about in the papers where the case has already ended up in court and during the trial itself may be withdrawn, not totally withdrawn. The term in law is actually discharge not amounting to acquittal, meaning that the case did not proceed but it was not acquitted altogether. So in law, it means that the person can be prosecuted later on. I take for example the case involving our present Deputy Prime Minister, the famous 47 charges. The MACC has recommended for charge to be made in court and the AGC has already charged the person in court and there was a trial. But during the trial, new things develop, new evidence come about during the hearing that makes the case of the prosecution untenable. It appears that the prosecution will not be able to secure a conviction. As a DPP, as the prosecution during the trial, you have a decision to make. Whether you proceed with the case and risk losing the case, or you apply for the NNA, stop the prosecution at this stage, and further investigate these new matters that has been raised about. And you have the option whether in future you can proceed with the trial, charge again, or if the new development doesn't favor the prosecution, you may just stop the prosecution altogether. So these are some of the tactical during trial that the prosecution can use. And it's not a case of MACC pushing for prosecution but was forced to stop. Actually, that doesn't happen.
How do I know that they are not taking the rasuah for themselves? Ketua Suruhanjaya SPRM dan juga semua pengurusan tertinggi SPRM sebenarnya amat committed untuk memastikan pegawai SPRM tidak terlibat dengan jenayah rasuah. Memang pernah ada kes yang pegawai SPRM ni ditangkap oleh SPRM sendiri dan ada yang sekarang ni dipenjara. Apa inisiatif yang SPRM buat untuk memastikan pegawai-pegawai SPRM tidak terlibat dengan rasuah? Yang pertama, dari segi pengambilan pegawai. Semua calon yang memohon untuk berkhidmat akan ditapis sebenarnya. Yang kedua, calon ini pun akan dibuat poligraf. Adakah berbohong ataupun tak berbohong. Ketiga, pegawai yang terlibat dalam operasi sama ada siasatan ataupun yang terlibat dalam serbuan, mereka dikehendaki untuk memakai satu kamera. Tujuannya adalah bagi memastikan mereka akan sentiasa patuh kepada SOP yang ditetapkan. Yang keempat adalah dari segi penubuhan satu cawangan khas, dipanggil cawangan hal ehwal dalaman, khusus untuk menyiasat tumahan yang berkaitan dengan pegawai SPRM terlibat dengan jenayah dan juga rasuah. Yang kelima, ini paling penting adalah kewujudan jawatankuasa aduan. Mereka ini adalah badan bebas. Sekiranya orang awam ada maklumat tentang katakanlah ada pelibatan pegawai SPRM dalam aktiviti jenayah, rasuah dan sebagainya, orang awam boleh membuat aduan kepada jawatankuasa aduan ini.
What do they do with all the case files that are completed but they choose not to pursue? So we are talking about the file itself, the yellow file with a big red cross on it. The file will be eventually sent to Arkib Negara for record, just like any other government file. But if you are talking about the case itself, the investigation will result in either getting the evidence to prove a case, or investigation might reveal that there is no case at all. So in the case that the investigation managed to gather evidence that tend to show an offence being committed, the file will be sent to Jabatan Peguam Negara to go through the file and decide whether there is a case to bring to court or not. If there is no case, the investigation reveals that information is not correct, there are no evidence, not sufficient evidence, then the case will be just closed. NFA, no further action. For those cases that were closed that does not end up in court, where the Deputy Public Prosecutor decided not to pursue the case, those cases will be examined by the panel penilai operasi, where I am the chairman, and we will look into the investigation itself, whether the investigating officers has covered all area and whether there is any area that they should look further. Sometimes we may not be able to prove that offence, but there might be other offences. For example, there is no corruption, but there might be cheating, or there might be falsification of documents. Those would be the advice given by the panel penilai operasi to review the case, whether it should be closed or should look further into it and improve the investigating side of it.
Has it really become easier to do their job since the change in government? Soalan ini lebih kepada persepsi masyarakat tentang kebebasan SPRM dan persepsi mengatakan terdapat campur tangan terhadap kes-kes yang disiasat. SPRM bertindak dalam membuat siasatan mengikut parameter undang-undang. Tidak ada campur tangan daripada mana-mana pihak dalam operasi SPRM. Pada masa yang sama juga, SPRM dipantau oleh Badan Bebas. Badan Bebas ini mewakili masyarakat secara keseluruhan. Ada mewakili sektor swasta, ada mewakili parti politik pun sebenarnya, mewakili parti kerajaan dan juga mewakili parti pembangkang. Mereka ini akan melihat macam mana SPRM melaksanakan tugasnya dan memastikan tugas-tugas SPRM ni dilaksanakan secara bebas, telus dan juga profesional. Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim sangat committed berhubung dengan isu-isu integriti, dan SPRM diberi kebebasan untuk menyiasat mana-mana individu yang berprofil tinggi, sama ada di pihak pembangkang ataupun di pihak kerajaan.
Apa yang jadi dengan Jho Low dan duit 1MDB? Chili sauce. Memang betul-betul chili sauce. We are still hunting for Jho Low. The investigation still ongoing. But on MACC side, something that a lot of people don't know is that approximately 70% of assets in 1MDB case have been recovered. This is a really good result because the global average is only 30%. Most recently, as of late 2023, following the trial of former bank officer at Goldman Sachs Roger Ng at the Brooklyn Federal Court, the asset recovery process of about another 12 million has been obtained. So following that, the Kuala Lumpur High Court ordered the properties belongs to associates of Jho Low and his wife and his Singapore to be forfeited to the MACC. So overall, about 70% of assets have been recovered and brought back to Malaysia. You might think that, wow, we lost a lot of money during the 1MDB case, but thankfully, we have managed to recover most of the money back. Even internationally, other countries are looking at us and getting us to share some best practices on how we manage to retrieve so much of the assets. So this is something that we are proud of. Some of the assets are paintings, properties in London, a luxury yacht, macam-macam lah. Aku nak cakap hari ni memang tak cukup lah.
You want to say anything to Jho Low?
Can. Okay, ni pesanan kepada Jho Low tau. Tuan, saya takut lah nanti siapa dia ni. Jho Low tengok aku. Jho Low lah. Malaysia really rindu you know. Malaysia memang rindu, MACC lagi rindu. Kita pun tak tahu macam mana muka you sekarang. You better balik ah. Susah betul pasal you lah ni. Boleh tak?